we're back here again. Now, what I'm doing is I'm prepping everything for a skim coat. I have got an angle box that coats both sides of these angles really nicely. Wait till you see that video. I'll tell you, it takes these angles and makes them 3 times easier than trying to do them by hand, okay? And besides, when you're doing things with your hand's so imperfect, you can't keep the same pressure from one point to the other, and the tools can. It just keeps the same pressure and it coats anything. But if you can't see it very well, probably with the video, but when I spot these, you can see I've got little screws that were in the angles when the drywall was installed. And if I don't take care of them, they're going to come through my final coat. So I'm prepping everything. Ooh, big bug. So I'm prepping everything and getting it ready for a final skim coat. So if I have an imperfection here, I need to take that out for the angle box. And then these corners too. There's 2 ways to do these corners. I've taped them, and now I can run the angle box, and then after it's all dry, come back and touch up these corners and touch up everything. Or I can look at it right now and say, hey, this needs a little bit more fill here, this needs some more fill here, okay? And I will usually take care of the 2 bad sides of the angle. Now when I come and skim it, I've only got 1 bad side that I have to hit and take care of. So that way, when I am done and I run the angle box and I pick these corners, they're finished. They're ready for sanding. And when we go to sand these corners, I also have to detail them afterwards. And I take a little piece of sandpaper and I cut in there and I fix it. But you know what? That's done later. I was asked one time, wow, you're a white guy and you're a drywall finisher? And I told them, yeah, I'm a hillbilly. And they go, oh, that explains it. So, because back when I started, that's all the people who did drywall. We were just a whole bunch of hillbillies, and that's who finished drywall up here. I understand too, where I'm working now, we don't have texture. Texture is very seldom used around here. Everything is smooth wall. And there is a huge difference between smooth wall and flat wall. So if you're asking me, hey, Ray, I want flat wall on my house, be willing to pay at least half as much as you normally do. So take whatever the cost is, multiply it by 50%, because I'm going to be charging you 50% more for flat wall. Smooth wall is completely different. We're just making everything smooth, you're hiding everything. Sometimes you still have a little bit of crown to it, but it's smooth. It's nice and smooth. Nothing catches your eye. Now, he's going to back up a little. I'm going to show you. And remember when I told you when you're doing these seams and you're running into the angle, you're having the same problem. You're having these seams that are hitting the angle, and that butt joint carries right up into this corner. It carries right up into this corner. Well, I have to float that corner out because you might not see this, but you are definitely going to see an angle that's going like a roller coaster. So you have to float these corners out. Where the seams meet the angles, you have to float them out. And here I am, I'm calling it a corner now, and the corners are different. Corners are different. You have corners, you got angles, you got seams, you have butt joints. We have our own language. And this right here is 2 butt joints meeting in an angle, and it has to be done. I don't know if you can see this on camera very well, but I can see it really good where I'm at. But I got a really deep spot right here in the angle, and I'm gonna have to fill that in too, because that's gonna show too. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm prepping all the angles, getting them all ready for a skim coat, and when I skim this out, it's gonna look beautiful. You just keep the lights off, paint all the windows black, you won't see nothing. Have a good day. Hey, I want to thank you for watching. I hope it's educational. I hope you've learned something. So if you really like what you see, please subscribe.